Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. For today, I have our July Craft Club kits. I'm going to put them together, show you how to paint them, assemble them, and get them all set up for your fall decor. So without further ado, let's jump in. So we have 3 different box options. This kit will come in every single box. This adorable scarecrow that also comes with different hand options in case you want to switch that up so you can choose what you want. If you've got box number 2 and 3, you're also going to receive this 6x6 paper pad that you can use for your kits, you can use for other projects, but I thought this month's was so adorable. I love fall most of all, so I just love all those colors. Here are all the pieces that is going to come with this scarecrow kit. And the first thing I'm going to do is grab some Mod Podge, and I am going to put that all over his body because I do want some scrapbook paper on his body to make it look like he's wearing a cute little shirt. So I'm going to add that Mod Podge, and then I'm going to let it completely dry. I don't like working with wet Mod Podge, so this is just a personal preference. I'm going to grab out the paper that I want. I love this plaid. I thought it was absolutely adorable. I'm going to take that out and trace his body along it. I'm not going to worry too much about where his neck is because we are going to do a little cover up so that the paper looks seamless on his body. You'll add that paper right on top of his body, add some parchment paper on top, and then I like using my Cricut mini heat press to reactivate that Mod Podge and make the paper stick to his body. I just find this way easier than using wet Mod Podge, but you do whatever you want to do. I use my settings on all the way high, and this just works every time. For his eyes, I'm just going to take some little markers and fill those in with some black. And then I wanted him to have some blush, some little rosy cheeks. I took an orange and a coral, mixed those together with some water, and then just did little circles right next to his smile lines. I had to show you this Amazon find. I got this silicone little paint palette, and when the paint dries you can just peel it out, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. Same with the little mat that I'm using. It's silicone, so when you get paint on it and it dries you can just peel it up. It's super awesome. I'll have it linked down below if you want to check it out. I painted his nose in orange, and then I gathered up all the pieces that I'm going to paint black, which are his shoes, the little bird, and the little soles of his shoes as well. And for the bird's beak, I just grabbed a yellow marker and painted it with that. For his buttons, I used my Waverly Wax and Antique. I went around the entire thing and then took off the excess with a paper towel, kind of like you would with a stain. For the middle of the sunflower, I took a dark brown and gave it one coat of that. For the middle of the sunflower as well, I took the back of one of my paintbrushes, dipped it into some black paint, and then just did little polka dots all over the entire thing. For his hat, I took some rich chocolatey brown paint and mixed it with a little bit of water and painted the hat and the brim of the hat. Now I'm going to be using these hands for him. I wanted to add some raffia to this and make him look very straw-like. So you will get some raffia in your bag, so if you want to use that you can. For the back piece, this is what's going to be used to hold him up, and I just painted those with a cream color. For the sunflower, I used a dark yellow and went through and painted that entire thing. Now here's the raffia that your kit is going to come with. I'm going to cut mine into little pieces. I kind of measured out how long they needed to be for his hands, and I just cut enough to cover his hands completely. I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm just going to start hot gluing that raffia down. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I just went through and covered each individual little finger and then made sure that the branch or the arm of the hand was covered in raffia as well. Now, once I had that all on there, I wanted this to look really messy, so I cut little slits in the end of each piece of raffia, and then took my fingers and kind of tapped it over and over again so the pieces would flare out, so this didn't look so perfect. I wanted it to look a bit messy and just have a little bit more texture to it. I repeated those steps for the other hand, just did the exact same thing. And then I wanted to add some raffia underneath the brim of his hat. So I just took one piece, measured out how much I think that I would need, and used the remaining raffia to use for his hat. I'm going to go through with each piece of raffia and cut little slits into it as well so that it gives a more fuller look to each piece of raffia. Now, I didn't want to use hot glue when gluing down these pieces because I didn't want the brim of the hat not to sit flush with everything else. I didn't want there to be little bumps and have a gap in between the brim and the rest of the hat. So I took Mod Podge and laid that down just where the hat met the face of our scarecrow, and then I added the raffia on top of that. I also layered some Mod Podge on top, and I just let that completely dry. So I'm just going to go through, add all my pieces of raffia where I want them on the hat, in his face. You kind of want to strategically place them so that you're not covering up his eyes if you don't want his eyes covered. And then added a layer of Mod Podge on top and set that aside to dry. I'm going to go through and assemble all my other pieces. You're going to take the little soles of the shoes and add those to his shoes. You're going to take the middle of your sunflower, add that to the middle, and then for the base piece that's going to help your scarecrow to stand up, you can just slide that on in the middle, and then it will be glued down to the back when you're done. Now, I like going through and adding little dots and lines for some added detail just to make it look a little cutesy and fun. So I take a really thin paintbrush and I dip it in my paint. I don't get a ton on there, and then I just start doing dots and lines, just adding highlights, and I just think it's a lot of fun. I think it makes your piece look that much more leveled up, I guess you could say, more complete maybe, but you can completely skip this step if you don't like adding those details to it. But I just went through on all the pieces and just added fun little things here and there. I also took some sandpaper to several of the pieces, again, just to give some more definition and add a little something extra to the piece. I also took some Waverly Wax and Antique, went around his shirt so that it looked a little bit dirty and worn. Now you can add the brim of his hat to his body, to the main piece, and I just used some wood glue super glue and squeeze that together as tight as I could possibly get it and let that dry. You're going to add his feet. You want to make sure that you're not going lower than his body so that your piece sits flush to the surface that you're putting it on. I also grabbed some ribbon. This just comes from the Dollar Tree. Your kit does not come with ribbon, but you can use whatever ribbon that you have in your stash if you want to do this. You could also just wrap it with raffia, which I think would be really cute. But I cut off the ends so that I could fray the ribbon as much as possible. I balled it up in my hand, kind of roughed it up as much as I could, tried to get it a little bit wrinkled and imperfect. And then I'm going to wrap this around his neck and use it for a cute little scarf. I just wrapped it around, tied it in a double knot, cut off the excess from the end, and that's all you gotta do. It's super cute. I'm gonna glue on his hands to the side of his body. Again, you can use whatever hands you want. You can place them wherever you want. I'll add the buttons to his shirt. add his nose to his face, and then add the little bird and the flower to the top of his hat. You can add your base piece on to his back. You just want to make sure that you are setting it flush to the surface when you're gluing it on so that he will stand up straight. And that's all you got to do for this kit. I think he is absolutely adorable and is going to look so cute with all of your fall decor. And then just a little reminder, we did launch our fall craft kits. So if you're looking for more crafting fun for fall, head over to our website, moorevinyldecals.com, and we have a ton of new fall projects that you can work on that are so much fun, so adorable, something for everybody. You got scary, you got cute scary, you got just your regular fall. I think that it was so much fun. We also have some fall scrapbook paper that we put on our website and Halloween scrapbook paper, so head over there and check it out. Here is kit number 3, this really fun fall picket fence with sunflowers and corn and pumpkins. You're also going to get 2 accessory items. One will be this chipboard accent, and then the other will be some ephemera. Here are all the pieces that come with this month's kit. It is fairly easy to put together, and in the end I think it turned out absolutely adorable. So I will take you step by step, show you how I painted it and how to assemble it. I'm going to start off by adding some Mod Podge to our banner. You could just leave it as it is, paint it. I wanted to add some scrapbook paper to it, so I'm going to add some Mod Podge and let that Mod Podge completely dry. While that's drying, I'm going to go to our corn stalks. I'm going to take a couple different colors. One will be a very mustard yellow, and then I took a little bit of some cream, and with the 2 of those I'm going to start painting our piece. I like using the cream as kind of an accent color on top, something to add a little bit more dimension. So go in with the yellow first and then kind of do just small light brushing strokes throughout the piece on top of the yellow, and I like to do it while the paint is still wet so everything kind of blends in together more seamlessly. And I'm just going to follow this same routine for all 4 of our corn stalks. For the pieces that are going to layer on top, I did use a little bit of a lighter yellow just so that there was a little bit more dimension. Now for our sunflowers, I'm going to use that same dark mustard yellow, and I am going to follow the lines really carefully. I took this on a really small paintbrush and went through all of those lines. You don't have to leave the outside plain. I did because I felt like it added a pop around the yellow, but if you wanted to paint the entire thing yellow, you can definitely do that. I took a green and went through all of the stems of the sunflowers and the leaves and got those all painted. The fun thing about these kits is that you can paint these however you want. Make them look however you want. The sky is the limit. You don't have to do it the way that I'm doing it. You can use your imagination and create whatever colors that you want to create and make it look the way that you want it to. For the fence, I went in with just a cream color and painted the entire thing. I wanted the base to match the fence as well, so I just used a cream for that whole base. For the middle portions of our sunflowers, I'm going to use my Waverly Wax and Antique, and I'm just going to use it like you would a stain. I put it on and then wipe off all the excess. For our pumpkins, for the stems and the leaves, I like using acrylic markers or paint pens. You can use regular paint if you want. I just feel like it's easier to use those on the tiny little details than a regular paintbrush and paint. For my pumpkins, I'm going to use the pumpkin from Waverly Chalk Paint, a kind of teal greeny kind of color for one of the pumpkins, and the other one I painted yellow, and then I decided I wanted it more white, so added some white on there. For our banner pieces, I'm going to be using the scrapbook paper that comes with our kit. I'm going to trace out our banners on top of those and then cut those out. Using some parchment paper and my Cricut mini heat press, I am going to heat up that Mod Podge that we let dry. That's going to reactivate it and get it to stick to the banner. I prefer this method when using Mod Podge because I am not a fan of using Mod Podge while it's wet. That's just my personal preference, so this is the way I like to do it. For the letters that spell out fall, I'm just using some markers and I'm just going to color right on top of them. Now to assemble everything, I'm going to add a little bit of our wood glue super glue from the Dollar Tree, add that onto the back of the letters, and then add them onto the banner. If you don't add the paper on top of your banners, there is a little etching on each piece to help you line up your letters exactly how they should go. You're going to continue adding glue to your other pieces. For your pumpkins, you can add those on there onto their backing piece. I glued each pumpkin piece down at the same time so I could line them up perfectly while the glue was still wet. You can add your glue to the middle of your sunflowers and glue those down. And then add on all of your leaves on top of your sunflower stems. You're going to layer the smaller corn stalk on top of the bigger one, and you'll do that 2 times. Now, just to show you how everything goes together, your fence piece goes right in the middle. Your corn stalks are going to go behind the fence, and then your pumpkins will go in front. Now your kit is going to come with some twine for your banner, but another option is, if you have some, is to use some wire. I thought that this looked really cute, and it also helps stabilize the banner a little bit more, which I kind of preferred, and I could put the banner exactly how I wanted it to. You can't really do that with twine. So if you have some wire and you want to use it, that is definitely another option. Once I had the banner on the wire, I just wrapped the wire around the fence post just a little bit and it stuck there perfectly. Now I'm going to grab some of this chipboard accents. These are actually adhesive on the back, these ones specifically, and I thought this was perfect. So if you wanted to kind of switch it up, maybe not use both pumpkins, maybe use one of the chipboard accents instead, I thought that was really cute. So I just wanted to show you another option. And that's all you got to do for kit number 3. I think this is absolutely adorable. I love it so much. Perfect for fall. If you guys are not subscribed to our craft club, you can follow the link in my description box or head to moorevinyldecals.com to get craft kits sent to your door every single month. If you sign up in August, you will be getting our Halloween themed craft kit. So stay tuned for that. It is going to be so much fun. I think you guys are going to love it. And that's it for today's video. I hope this was helpful in painting and assembling your guys' kits. I hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye!